Hey, everybody. Let me zoom out real quick. You're just right up on my glue gun right there. Let's see. I hope everybody is doing well. I am doing my 10 on the 25s a day early, primarily because I'm going to be at a quilt retreat tomorrow. So I don't think I'll be taping Christmas stuff. I just spent longer getting my computer restarted so I could tape than I spent prepping for the cards. So that's probably good that I wasn't being recorded because there was a lot of cursing. Like, I love technology when it does what it's supposed to. I do not love it when it's bad. So first things first, I am going to use this Stampin' Up! Stamp set called Woodland Wishes, which came out in the July online exclusives, and I flippin' love it. What I'm doing today isn't big enough for the big pile of animals, so I'm just using the bear, and this bear, and this fox, and some other stuff. So, I'm using the June 2025 Sheetload from Call Me Crafty Owl, which you can get from her as long as you're a subscriber. You can get her stuff. You watch the video, you can get it. And she just redid this one as like the throwback in June of 2026. So it's out of the vault temporarily. And if you're a member for as little as like it's $1.99 a month, I think, for the lowest end membership, you have access to all of her sheet loads. And to give you an idea, like my desk is covered in her sheet loads because she's always coming out with the ones I adore. And I keep them, if I'm smart, I put them away, but currently they're just sitting out here. So this gives you cutting instructions and everything. And I printed it on yellow, but that was just because it was what was in the printer. So I'm going to do this real quick. I have a bunch of stuff prepped. I'll show you how I'm doing the cards. Where on earth did I put my stamp? So step one for me, I cut out a bunch of the papers, obviously, first, but this piece, which is your sentiment strip, I made a space in here, so all I have to do is plop it in here. And this is a generic, like, off-brand Cricut mat I have in here held down. And then I put this to mark the spots. And then these weird spots where there's washi, it's because this is so sticky that you can't get your stuff up if you don't have places to, like, get your fingernail underneath it there. So, okay, it was dry. Thank goodness. So this is not a normal time of day for me to be on. Plus I've been, AWOL, what with the chaos of this year. Trying to get my world back in order. And I've been quilting. I finished a quilt for my sister's, my half-sister, so that'll explain why it's not my niece. Her nephew had a baby, and she's 2 months old and still in the hospital. And so she should be coming home this week. So I finished her quilt last night. I think I posted it on Discord. If not, I'll try to remember to do that before I leave for my trip. So I have one more of these to do. Okay, 1, 2, 3. There you are. So I am doing 10 cards. The way she wrote the sheet load, it's a 5x7 card made with 6x6 paper, which is kind of like a specialty. Usually she does 12x12 paper, so this one was awesome. But I did use 12x12 paper. So each sheet of paper got me 4 cards. So I did 2.5 sheets of paper and then used the rest for the little parts. I'll show you. But all of the cutting guides are on her stuff, and it's awesome because it makes it so much easier. And there's our little animals. All right, I will I need a piece of scrap paper or something. I don't really want this to get, oh no, that's not a scrap. That one, it might be. But just to be safe, I have a strip box that I keep all my excess strips in. So I'll do that, and then I'll wash that in a little bit so I can get all the gunk off of it. And I do keep, this is this protective sheet that came with the stamping positioner thing, because having it where it sticks down but not too hard is brilliant. I was using, these are some Anna Griffin card bases that my sister's boyfriend got at a yard sale ages ago. And so when he passed away, she brought these to me. So I'm trying to use up all these that he got. And there's some pinks and blues and some colors that aren't very Christmassy. But since this paper I found paper that I had pink in it, I went for it. So there were 8 of each color. So I did some green and gray card bases with gray and pink cardstock. So I will show you how to throw one of these together. And it is super simple. I am wishing that I had a tape runner. I love my glue. I love putting glue on. But man, the tape runner for this kind of thing is so nice. And I currently am out of refills for the tape runners that I usually use. And then I have a new tape runner that I haven't filled yet. And believe it or not, I have one of those Scotch tape runners that's, everybody's crazy and fights over, but I have never figured it out, and I need to like watch some videos and figure it out. So, what's everybody getting up to this summer? There's nobody on, just can't tell me now, but you can comment and tell me what you've been up to this summer. Hopefully it's fun stuff, not chaos. And if it's chaos, it's good chaos. Sadly, like my sister today, went back to work. She's a teacher, and so she started like getting classroom ready kind of stuff that they have, like required going back to class. She's been back to the classroom several times, but this is like, haha, no joke, you got to go back. How am I missing 2 pieces? There they are. So this little strip, which is in your cutting guide, sorry, it's very sunny out, so it's messing up my lighting, goes on here. And I could have very easily left this off and done a bigger stamp, but I kind of like the strip being on there. And this goes in the middle. And I'm going to throw those all on. I do gotta say, I actually prefer how glue sticks, but boy, tape runner is a lazy, easy way, isn't it? So I also have, a guide that will make this exactly 1/4 inch in the middle, but handmade sometimes isn't perfect, and that's okay. In an ideal world, I would have had just the right number so that I would have had gray or blue on the pink and pink on the gray, but this one's going to be pink on pink. And I did one of the ones I did first, I put this on and then I put my strip, and then one of my strips was a little overhanging, and I learned my lesson. Don't do that first. So that's my advice. I will put this on. Yikes. We're about to have a new catalog coming out for Stampin' Up! And if you know me, I use what I have, which is all different stuff, but I am a Stampin' Up! Demo mostly to get the discount. And we've come out with some new Christmas stuff, including like this guy was from the July one. And then the newest one is going to have even more Christmas goodies. So, and Halloween, fall, all of the fun stuff. So this is where it can be confusing the way this goes on. And these little squares here are like 1.5 by 1.5 squares. And centering them or placing them can be kind of a bear. So here is the trick. I do get 4 of them. And put our glue on, and we're going to cheat. That's why this isn't a plastic thing. Usually I just put these in without putting them in as protector, but I've used this one a ton. I like this layout. So you could measure, you could figure it out on your thing, but this is, if you print it 100%, it is the size of the card. So you can literally glue this where it goes. You see how I'm lining it up, parking it there. Then slide it over this way, line it up, put our glue on. Don't forget to make sure you have the same side up on them. And if you have directional paper, try to consider the directionality of it. There is a bonus piece there. And like this paper has a lot of white on it. And if you're looking at it and you're about to place it down, put the, well, unless you want the white out there. So if I put the white out here, it's going to be, if I put it here, it'll be under the main paper. So that to me is a better look. So that's what I'm going to do. So there's that. Then we take our main paper, and this is where you can use whichever side you want, and it is made to use it just like this. Look how I managed to, even though I just did that with the things, I managed to make one of them, those two, higher than the other. I think it's because some of these one way is 1.5 and the other is slightly bigger, so I should pay better attention. There we go. You could very well do this, make another layer of cardstock for underneath this. And it would definitely raise the bar, or you could even use another piece of, like, cut more paper, do the 4x6 and then do a 3 3/4 or whatever, to have that extra layer. But I'm just going to go with it. Again, I could do this and stick on my gray. I think that's redundant because it has that on there. So I did it with the intention of it being this way. So my glue fell over. Again, this is where, make sure, check your card, which way it opens. Because before now, we could have just flipped it. At this point, this is where if you put it on upside down, you're going to say naughty words. And we try not to do that while making our Christmas cards. It's how Santa doesn't end up coming to see you. Okay. That's still not completely balanced, but we're going to pretend it is perfectly balanced and no one will know. So I am going to use a pink one since the background is gray. I don't know that it really matters. You could also put this up on dimensionals or something. A lot of my cards do get mailed, so I treat it differently, which ones get mailed and which ones don't. We're centering that approximately. Again, you can get out your T-square if you want. Square stuff up. I have a bad habit of not doing that. I did stamp this with... I think it's Misty Moonlight. Yeah, Misty Moonlight, because it went with this blue. And this is just some Echo Park papers I had lying about. I tried to keep I probably threw them away. Oh, here, Winter Wonderland and Winterland, I think, are the names of the two papers I used. And they're just ones that were part of, I had used most of the packs, and that's what I had left. I would have done this with like a more permanent ink, which I use the VersaFine Clear if I'm doing that. I could have colored the bears and stuff. I can also throw some cute jimmies on it if I want, but also I can call that done. Super duper cute. Love it. I'll throw one more together, and I'm going to start with do the green background. And let's use some pinky squares, just so we have the opposite. And I'm going to do this time and see if I can make a better effort at this. And these have triangles, and I'm doing the triangles up. So make sure you do, if you do that triangle up, do the other triangle up instead of, I guess you could do this one up, this one down, but it's supposed to look like underneath here is one strip of paper, which honestly, I have so much paper. It probably would have been better if I'd have just done that and used up some paper. But, it always seems like I should use up paper, and I start using it. I'm like, I can get 10,000 more cards out if I just, So Tina, if you stop by, this is actually your stamp positioner that I've got laying over here. I am going to set this on here, and instead of doing it from the other side, I'm going to do that. So there's no question that they're level. Right on the edge. Do not slide it under the ruler. And then slide it down to this guy. Same thing. If you watch the original video where Crafty Owl makes her first set with this this Sheetload, she does an amazing job showing different ways to make sure your stuff is where you want it to be. And she's way more detail oriented than me. Okay, so now here, this is the cuteness that, look. Now, this is going to hurt my feelings a little bit because I'm going to be covering them up with these guys. So I'm trying to decide if, since I have to do that, if I mean, you can still see the penguins. So do I keep the penguins, or I can do this? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 total of the penguins. I can do this one of them this way and then do another one the other way. I could hear downstairs that Tom is letting the dog watch Agility, and he's just quietly fussing. I can hear him bouncing at the TV because he loves TV. So I see that some people have snuck in. I hope you're doing well. Do this one, and then I guess I'll do one more penguin one so we can see which we prefer. And then my plan is to finish these so that I can say that I got my 10 on the 25, or in this case, 24th done, and then go do my quilt thing that I have to do. We'll do a gray one with pink legs. Oh, carp. Okay. Don't panic. That's going to be under stuff anyway, so it does not matter. Will not be seen. Also, if you don't have a T-square, you can use another piece of paper or cardstock or something to make sure those are level across the top. If, like me, you're apparently not capable of sliding it over equally. So you could use a regular ruler or just another piece of paper like that. I have the T-square. I'm going to use it. So my not so baby son, my oldest that has cerebral palsy, turned 28 on Wednesday. which makes me feel older than my own birthday makes me feel, because apparently that's how that works. And that's insane to me. Let's do penguins right side up. So I'm not 100% sure that the penguins and the woodland animals go together, but maybe they're at the zoo. I want pink. So there we go for now. That's 3 of the 10 I'm going to do. I will finish the rest and I'll make it the thumbnail for the video so everybody can see. Here's with the snowflakes and the penguins. And then the pink flowers, which it's not the Christmassy of Christmas stuff, but it is a wintry. I like it. I also, one of the reasons I like this is that even though these guys are in the shape of a tree, so it's obviously a Christmas stamp set, I think you can use this part, definitely Christmas. You could get away with it for something else. Take the star off the top. It could just be a stack. But then you have all of this. So I would absolutely do a baby shower card with this. Maybe, like I said, not the tree, but these guys, totally baby shower. So remember, like, that's my whole thing is when I buy a stamp set, I try to buy something that I know I'll use more than once. So I hope everybody's doing great. I've got to figure out a way, if any of you at all are interested in quilting, to get where I can tape where I sew, because my sewing area is nowhere near this area. I mean, I can see it from here, but I can't tape over there. So have a fantastic weekend, guys. I'll see you soon. Stay out of trouble. Bye.